Well, we're very lucky to be joined here by Vincent Vosse, who's owner and co-CEO of WRT Racing, one of the most successful racing teams in a variety of different championships. We're here today at WEC. You've got two LMP2 cars, I think starting P2 and P4.
Exactly.
So good chance of getting a good result at Spa, but you own WRT. Just let us know, what's it like to own a racing team and what are the challenges, what excites you?
Well, it's been a challenge since now almost 14 years. The team has grown quite a lot the last 5-6 years. We are lucky enough to have been very successful in our journey with Audi. I mean, we were linked to Audi for 13 years, and now we are starting a new partnership from 2023 with BMW, which is a new challenge for us in GT, but also in the future we will be part of the WEC with Hypercar, with BMW new Hypercar, and this is what we are doing here. We are preparing a little bit the future.
So here you're running two of the LMP2, which has the Dallara chassis and a lot of spec parts. When you go into Hypercar, what sort of learnings can you take from the LMP2?
Here we are running Oreca chassis.
Yes, oh sorry.
Oreca chassis in an MP2, and in the future we will run the Dallara chassis with the BMW spec. Well, it's quite different. I mean, the Hypercar, it's a much more sophisticated car with the hybrid system. The team will again grow a little bit. There will be more people during the season here to prepare 2024. We are talking about engineering, we are talking about a lot of different things. Yeah, it's
a new challenge, exciting challenge.
Yeah, it is.
So a lot of the viewers who are watching this will play sort of racing management games on their computers and on their phones, and a lot of that comes to financing and funding the racing and sponsorship. Can you tell us a little bit about getting sponsorship and getting that funding, and do you enjoy that, or is it something that you just have to do and you want to go racing really?
Well, I mean, it's always been a very difficult subject because, of course, once you can found your own team and you can choose the driver, you will be much stronger if you know which driver to pick. But you know, sometimes it's part of compromise, and we have won many different championships and races with compromise. Some not, but I have to say it's something I really enjoy to do.
Okay.
It's something that, you know, to find the right compromise. I mean, of course, when you are moving into a factory team with factory drivers, well, it's to motivate the manufacturer to give you the right drivers, but they are all very good. So it's a bit different. But when you are running private entry, and you have to pick up and compromise a little bit your lineup, yeah, it's part of the game.
We've been lucky to speak with Rui on your team, who's just an amazing driver and just has an amazing sort of outlook on racing. You also have Robert Kubica, who's a driver with incredible history in obviously Formula One, rally as well, and endurance racing. What was the conversation like to get Robert involved with WRT, because he's been very successful for you over the years?
I mean, I've been in contact with Robert already a few years ago when we were discussing about GT or DTM. And then we got again in contact about an entry in an MP2, which we finally did and we enter one car in 2021 for him in ELMS and in Le Mans. We won the championship. That car almost won Le Mans, was leading into the last lap and
that was drama.
And stopped into the last lap. Wow, a lot of emotion, but I can say that Robert is one of those drivers who can bring a lot to a team with his experience, with his knowledge, with his feeling. He's always a great team player, and it's been an honor to work with him. Rui is one of those young drivers who are coming to you to ask us to help him to grow into the sport. He's doing very well. I mean, obviously he's coming from a country where motorsport is not a very big activity. I would say not very popular, but yeah, Rui has won races last year in WEC, has done podium the last race in Portimao, and yeah, he's a driver which is growing into a sport.
Yeah, it's incredible to see like the different sort of drivers at different stages of the careers, and they come together because endurance racing they have to work as a team, which is very different from sprint. So I think a lot of people are familiar with. Just a very final question. Obviously, starting P2 and P4, Spa. What do you think? What are you hoping for here? Is it 1-2? Is it possible for WRT, or just anything can happen?
We are in Spa. Everything can happen. As you see outside, it's not looking that good. It's a bit drizzling, and it could stay like this all day. Maybe it will dry up a little bit. We don't know. We don't know how we are going to start. What we know, it's going to be a tough race, because in Spa it's always, even if it's dry or wet, always can be a tough race.
Well, we'll see what happens. I want to say a big thanks, Vincent, for making the time available. It's been very, very, very insightful. Very rare to be able to speak to someone in your position, so thanks a lot for making the time.
Welcome.
Awesome. That's great, again. Very good. Thanks, Vincent. Appreciate that.